Welcome back to the show, guys. Today we got a special guest. This dude comes from, currently, you're in San Bernardino, correct?
San Bernardino right now, yeah.
He's currently living in San Bernardino. He comes out of KMF Boxing. This man's got a record of 6-0 with 5 KOs. Check this guy out. Welcome to the show, Angel Munoz, El Machete.
Thanks for having me on, bro.
How's it going, brother?
Good. You know, had a long day, man. I come train in the mornings, like around 11 o'clock. I live in Paris right now, but so I come from Paris all the way over here to San Bernardino. It's like a 45-minute drive. Train from 11 to like 1. It really depends on what we're doing. Sometimes I train for like from 11 to 2. But on days like this, I'm not sparring. Train in the morning, and then I bring my little brother over here to come train in the afternoons, like at 6. So yeah, it's a late night here at the gym, here in the office.
Yeah, you asked me to come in at 8, and I was like, "Damn, it's gonna be
super late, huh?"
Yeah, I was like, "Hey, we can run it, dude.
Yeah.
I'll drive out to SB and we'll get this, we'll get this pod going." But I was like, "Man, it's gonna be a long one." I drink coffee on the way too, actually.
Yeah, I know how it is. I normally drink a Celsius. I get home from the gym and pregame a Celsius for the evening.
Yeah, dude. So you drink one Celsius in the morning and then one after the gym?
No, I try not to drink it in the morning. So I try to just I wake up pretty late as it is. I wake up like at 8 o'clock. Well, my son wakes me up. He's like my alarm clock. And then I leave the house at 10 to get here at 11. So I'm already awake by then. I don't need a coffee or energy drink. But in the evening, I'm already tired. Like when I get home, I want to take a nap, but I got all my chores to do, all my stuff to do. So I'll drink an energy drink. I like Celsius because they say it's healthy, you know.
Yeah.
I could get by with drinking a Celsius and not feeling too bad.
Yeah, I like the Celsius. I've been drinking that. Right now they got this sparkling blue raz or something. Have you had that one?
Yeah, I had that one.
That one hits, bro.
I like the peach vibe. That's my favorite.
Peach vibe. Oh,
yeah,
that one's good too.
That's a sparkling one.
Yeah. Dude, Celsius for sure going up, dude.
Yeah.
Bro, what's it like having a kid and still fighting professionally?
There's not much difference other than just the motivation is a huge motivation for me. Obviously, I want my kid to see me as his hero. You know, I want to be the best dad I can be. And I want to set a good example for him. So I give it my all in the gym. I give him my all in the fight, so that, you know, later on when he understands, you know, the sacrifices I made and what I was doing, he has something to maybe take from me. You know.
Yeah.
My kid today, this morning, I feel bad. He brought me the gloves and he wants me to like play fight with them. And his mom's like, "Oh, he wants you to take him to the gym." And he comes in here sometimes, but he'll just be running amok, jumping in the ring, hitting the bag. He's only 1.
Ooh.
He turns 2 next month.
Tiny.
And his birthday falls on Thanksgiving, so that's crazy.
Like the actual Thanksgiving day?
His birthday is on it's November 28th, and that falls on Thanksgiving this year.
Wow.
So yeah, but yeah, he wanted to come in the morning, but by the time I get here, he's already kind of tired. He wants to take his morning nap, so I didn't bring him. But it's super cool having a kid, and it's just a more motivation for me.
Yeah. Dude, I can imagine you really gotta like have a support system to be able to train and watch your kid and stuff, you know?
Yeah, it gets difficult sometimes, you know, because I'm married too, so I've been married for 3 years. And we've had our difficulties trying to manage when I was working and training at the same time. It's like I'm never home. I don't get home till late at night. Or if I am home, I'm only home for like an hour. And now with the kid, obviously that brings some issues because I want to be there for my son. I want to help out my wife with the kid. You know, she needs a break too. But it's definitely a support system. Having a support system is great because my wife knows what I'm trying to accomplish. She understands my goals, and even though sometimes I have to remind her and my family, like, hey, I'm in camp right now. I can't go out on the weekends. I can't be doing all this other stuff. I need to focus on the fight. So that having that support system's great. Right now, she's making my meal preps for me, which is a huge help because I'm driving back and forth from either the gyms that we're going to for sparring, or even just here in San Bernardino. Like I'm getting home late right now. If I have to go home and cook my meals, like I'm never gonna eat. I'll just skip the meal. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's cool, bro. That's tight that your girl's supporting you. I know a lot of people, once you have a kid, they're gonna be like, yo, you gotta get a real job now. You know?
Yeah, get a real job now.
Yeah,
for sure.
One of my buddies, Julio, he just had his Well, not just. She's about the same age as your daughter, actually.
My son.
Her son, his daughter's same age as your son. And he's still fighting. He's still active in Muay Thai, and I see just like how before he was he's still pretty active, but before he was definitely more active because he could always fight, you know?
Yeah.
And now with the daughter, it's like he's balancing his daughter and then work and gym, you know?
Yeah.
But it's actually funny too because he just fought recently and you didn't see him at the gym for like a week and a half, which is after a fight, you'd see him at the gym. You know?
Right away. But now you gotta take that break. Like me, I have some vacations planned for next year. We had vacations planned this year. I was supposed to go to Hawaii for 2 weeks in October for my birthday.
Yeah.
But not necessarily for my birthday, but just for my family to take a vacation after everything I was doing this year. But then we found out my wife was pregnant, and we're like, okay, we're gonna stop the vacation. That did open up more opportunity for me to train too, though. And then definitely just sacrifice for like any other fighters who have kids or a family. You have to sacrifice other things. Like me, I have to sacrifice playing games. You know, I don't play PlayStation as much as I used to. I don't hang out with friends as much as I used to because all the spare time I do have, I try to, give that to my family.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of fights, so you have a fight coming up on the 21st, right? Yeah,
December 21st. So a little ways away. I think it's like 54 days, 8 weeks away, something like that. I got a lot of time to prepare for this fight. And I was already in the gym before then, so I feel like I'm gonna be at my best this fight, like better than ever, because I have so much time to train, and I was already training before. It's gonna be a great performance.
Yeah. Do you normally set up fights with this much time between the camp and the fight?
I like to, I like to have as much time as possible. But really, we've had some fights on short notice that we took that just didn't end up working out. But I like to have at least 6 to 8 weeks of training camp. Yeah.
Yeah, 6 is pretty normal. 8 it's a little bit longer. That for at least from what I've seen, I've rocked with it though, dude. I think take as much time as you need, especially when it comes to cutting the weight. You know.
Yeah, that's when I get into camp, it really just means okay, I'm starting my diet. I'm no longer going out on the weekends doing any big events or anything. I'm training consistently throughout the whole entire week and focusing primarily on this fight. So, when I'm not in camp, I'm still in the gym training. I'm still focusing on boxing, and boxing is pretty much a part of my life every day. That's what camp is. So the longer I'm on my diet and just focusing on the fight is just the better I think I perform.
Yeah. Who do you have for your opponent that's coming up?
I don't have an opponent yet. I think tickets going to sell this week. And opponents are difficult. I've had a lot of opponents pull out of fights, and we switch opponents. And a lot of people ask me, "Oh, who's your opponent?" But I'm at the level I'm at right now. I'm fighting for these local promotions out here, so we're getting opponents that maybe most people don't really know about. But this is going to be my first 6-round fight and my first fight at 147 officially.
So you're coming down, right?
Coming down in weight. I started my pro career at 160. In the amateur, I won a tournament in the amateurs at 175. I won the Christy Martin tournament in North Carolina at 175.
You're a big boy, bro.
Yeah, I was big. So I started boxing at 200 pounds, and I just gradually started going down. I used to play football, so the weight was good. And then getting to boxing, the weight's not that good anymore. Started slimming down and went from 160. I had 4 fights at 160, and then I went down to 154. Had 2 fights here in California at 154. And then when I joined Team Combat League, when I fought for LA Elite, they had me in the 147 weight category.
Yeah.
So now I'm able to make that weight confidently, and I'm gonna make 147 this next fight.
Yeah. How do you feel about making that weight throughout your camp?
I've yet to make it. The first time I got close to it was my first fight for TCO against Philadelphia. And I weighed in at 149 or 148 easily. And I was like, what the heck? I can make 147. The reason I made that weight so easily was because I knew I was on the team about a month in advance. And at that point, I knew I was going to fight for 147. You get a 5-pound allowance, you can make 151. But I wanted to make 147. I want to be as close to that weight as possible and feel healthy. So I started a diet like 2 months out. Super early, stayed super disciplined with that diet. Got real slim, but I was cut. I was really cut. Mm-hmm. Probably the best shape I've looked so far in my career. And I hopped on the scale at 148, and I didn't feel drained at all.
Yeah.
So I was like, after that, I knew I could make it.
Yeah. The benefit I feel like of having that longer camp is a lot of the times it's like you're doing good on your weight cut, and then something happens, and then you might gain like 4 pounds or something that one day. Maybe you just get a little too hungry.
It's like the story of my life right now. It's like the past 2 weeks, I was getting down to, I was like 163. Well, so I just came off an injury. I was supposed to fight like a couple months prior to this, but I was supposed to fight. I had to pull out of my fight because I had an injury, and I was out for 2 months with the injury. I wasn't training or doing anything even though I wanted to. And I came back thinking, man, I must have gained so much weight. But I hopped on the scale and I was like 163. So I've been walking around there like 163. I like to stay lower than that. I like to be like 158, 157. But 163 was good, and I'm like, all right, let's start cutting it down now. And then the weekend comes up, and I'm like, bro, I just gained like 4 pounds this weekend.
Where's it come from?
Yeah, I have to drop down again.
Yeah.
But now I'm with my nutritionist, Odie, and I think he's gonna be a huge help. I'm trusting him fully this camp. I'm gonna eat everything he tells me to, and nothing else, and I think I'm gonna be good. I just had a teammate, Christian Tinoco, fight this past Friday. It was his second fight. He fought here at Sobobu Casino in San Jacinto. And man, I'm jealous of it because I'm like, man, he's cutting weight and he's still drinking water. That's like the biggest thing. He's still eating and drinking water.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I got to listen to this nutritionist. If Christian's doing it, the same thing can happen for me. So, and I'm eating more than I normally do because I'm eating healthier.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Shout out, would you say his name
was?
Odie.
Coach Odie, yeah.
Shout out Coach Odie.
Yeah, for sure.
Y'all are out in the San Bernardino area.
He body shames me sometimes, but
that shit is important, bro.
Yeah, we joke around. I was like, man, Coach, stop body shaming me.
Dude, that new generation, bro.
Yeah, no, he's tough. He's tough.
Yeah. No, all right. Well, speaking of TCL, right?
Yeah, Team Combat League.
Yeah, you want to maybe tell the viewers what it's about? I had no idea what it was or even this concept until.
Yeah, so I'll try to explain the best I can. I know if you go on, if you search up Team Combat League and it'll explain it to you word for word what it is, but it's basically team concept boxing. You have a team from a city with fighters in each weight class, even females. I forget how many weight classes it is, but how many fighters. There's like 26 fighters that we have on the team. I don't think it's 26 rounds, I believe. And each fighter goes in and fights one round against an opponent of their weight class. And at the end of the night, each round gets judged, obviously, and whoever has the most points at the end of the night wins. Some fighters fight twice in one night, so they'll fight one round, get out, and then fight again another round, which I've done that many times against different fighters. So I had fights where I was fighting one fighter, get out, and then get in and fight another fighter. But that's basically what it is. Team concept. There's many teams. I fought on the LA team. I think that's really the only team in California right now. But they just brought on a Phoenix team. They have a Philadelphia team, Boston, a couple teams in Texas, and they're expanding and growing. And there's a lot of good fighters that are starting to take notice of the league and join because it's really good publicity. They got really good production going on, and the concept is actually you know when you think about it, some people may hear it and think, oh, it's not that exciting. It's not very traditional, But I became a big fan of it watching it. Like it's super exciting to see a fighter go in there and give it their all for one round. You see people getting knocked out. You see a lot of action, different styles all in one night.
Yeah, I was about to say because it's one round. It's 1 3-minute round. Correct?
1 3-minute round, even for the females. So they brought that on too. For the females, they're fighting 3-minute rounds. Yeah,
so I can imagine it's got to be bangers like that whole round, bro.
It is. Me and Christian got on the team together. My teammate that I'm talking about. And we're kind of thinking about it, talking about it. Like we seen the first season, it didn't look that great as far as like the production and the fighters that were on there.
Yeah,
kind of expected not to have it easy, but just not for it to be as hard as it was. It was tough. Every fight, you were fighting someone that was just as good as you or better, undefeated, had a bigger name than you, bigger amateur background, and it's one round. You think you could survive that one round, but people are giving it their all for that one round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, when I started looking into it, I was like, this actually sounds really unique and interesting, dude.
Yeah, and when you watch it, it's super exciting. And then if you have a team, like I feel like I was on the Lakers, man.
Dude,
I thought I was on the Lakers.
Yeah, when I was watching it, the way they have it set up, it was like I feel like they try to make it like very sporty, you know?
Yeah, and it is. It's a team sport. We're representing Los Angeles, and I'm from San Diego, so I've always had that rivalry with Los Angeles, being a Padres fan and a Chargers fan. But I was like, man, I'm on the LA team. I'm like one of the Lakers now.
Yeah.
And we would go around joking like, hey, man, we're the LA elite. You know, that's our team. We're proud of it. And I'm definitely excited and hoping that I get on the team again next year. I think we'll have our first fight March 27th of next year.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I want to learn more about it. I want to check out some more of their events, dude.
Oh yeah, check it out, man. They have events in LA. They hosted it at I forget the venue, but it's right there in Long Beach.
Long Beach.
Yeah, something studios. It's a studio down in Long Beach. Thunder Studios. That's what it's called. Yeah.
Got you.
So it's super cool being there. That was like our home court right there.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'll check it out, dude. Hopefully next time you're on, dude, I'll be able to see.
Yeah, I got to be on. That's my goal. I'm gonna be on there this next season, and I'm setting my goals high. I want to be the MVP. I want to be the best 147 pounder on there. Try to put on a show every time I go out there and fight.
Yeah, I was watching some of your fights, dude. You're like very good with your range control and your left hand. You're southpaw, right?
Yeah, I'm a southpaw.
Yeah, I was watching you dart in and out very like clean, dude. I can't remember who you were fighting. Or it was for some Viking promotion, I think, or something.
Viking Promotions, yeah, that was out there in South Carolina.
South Carolina, was it?
Yeah.
Dude, you're piecing this dude up, and you did this one thing that it's just stuck with me. It's like you pressed him against the ring, you threw a combination, and then you took a step back. And as he took his step forward, you took a step forward again.
Yeah.
And then you did another combination and then darted off. You know.
Yeah.
I just thought that was just clean footwork.
I remember that fight too. I was just using my footwork a lot. Like my footwork is very important, and as a southpaw. And then I started boxing out there in North Carolina in a gym called Burgess Boxing and Fitness in Spring Lake.
Yeah.
And being Mexican out there is like a Mexican fighter. Well, I just started, so I never adapted to like that Mexican style. Mm-hmm. I just kind of, what they taught me was just like I became a boxer puncher. Mm-hmm. I started using my footwork, and I use my southpaw stance to my advantage. And I think that's translated well for me, especially out here in California too.
Yeah. No, I like good footwork, especially too because like when you have really good footwork, that allows you to keep your hands lower, and it just looks super cool. And you have your hands down, you're popping stuff out there, dude. You know?
You gotta keep them up a little bit higher. Yeah. But that's definitely been an advantage, being able to gauge that distance, know when I'm out of range, and being able to step into range when I want to as well.
Yeah. Yeah, the other thing too is I noticed, at least towards the end of, it was a pretty short fight. I think it only went 2 rounds, right? Did it go 3 rounds?
That fight for Viking Promotion in South Carolina most likely did 2 rounds.
I think it did 2 rounds, and by the second round, you were just throwing some crazy combinations.
So that fight was against Colby Lowry, and it was his debut.
Okay.
It was his debut, and he's a good fighter. But I think they might have turned him pro a little too fast.
Yeah.
And so I was expecting that for him to be a little bit less experienced, because it was my second fight. I kind of already got the jitters out, and the ref ended up stopping that fight in the second round.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, so that's one thing that stood out for me is your footwork, and for that fight, at least, I saw you throwing a lot of combinations, which usually when I see southpaw fighters, they don't really throw a lot of combinations. They kind of like poke, and then they'll throw that
overhand
backhand,
or something. Yeah. We've been working on that too, because I think that may be a disadvantage. Like something that I need to work on is throwing that 2 more. Like my coach would tell me, you got to turn it over, and he wants to see more of that from me, letting that 2 go, because I do a lot of like lead, like with my lead hand, I throw a lot of combination with like starting off with a jab. I throw a good lead hook to the body. I set everything up with that lead hand, and I'm working more on letting that 2 go. Yeah, you kind of fight like you're orthodox, but like southpaw, you know? Yeah.
But I think in Muay Thai it works wonderfully. I wouldn't know about boxing because I've never really boxed, but in Muay Thai when you see someone throw combinations from the left side, it usually goes to people's head because they're like,
it comes from, a lot of people struggle with southpaws because it comes from a different angle that you're not used to.
Yeah.
If you're used to sparring or fighting orthodox fighters and you get in there with the southpaw, it's like, where's the punches coming from. You know, they're not coming from the usual angles. And then if you have someone that is really good with their footwork and angles, it's even worse for a fighter that is not prepared for that.
Yeah, just overloading their brain.
Yeah,
that's the beauty in Lomachenko, bro, because the angles from the
Lomachenko at one point was like my favorite fighter because I'm looking for all the southpaw fighters so I could watch film on them.
Yeah,
and I found Lomachenko. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna fight just like this guy.
Yeah. He's top notch, dude. So what got you started with boxing? You told me you were the only boxer in your family.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm the only boxer in my family. Now my brother's starting to box, and I have like a cousin that's starting to box as well. But I think I started it off. I always wanted to be a professional athlete since I was a little kid. I mean, I thought I was going to be in the NFL for sure. You know, 100%. I would have bet anything on it.
Yeah.
That I was going to be in the NFL or just become a professional athlete. I wanted to be a star. You know, I wanted to. You know, everything that you think when you're a kid about being a professional athlete, I wanted all that, you know?
Yeah.
And then it just continually grew on me, you know. When I was in school, I was thinking, man, I don't want to work any of these other jobs, nothing against other jobs, but just I want to be a professional athlete. And when I enlisted in the Army, I ended up getting stationed in North Carolina. And the first thing I looked for was a boxing gym. You know, I thought that boxing would probably be my best route to you know, following that dream, being a professional athlete. I was just kind of delusional. I was like, man, you know, I'm gonna go in there and just whoop on people. I'm strong. I can fight. You know, I know I could fight. You know.
Yeah.
And I couldn't. You know, maybe you could fight, but you can't box. You know, I took so much time. So much, you know, just late nights in the gym and watching film, a lot of dedication and just determination to be a decent boxer, you know. But it ended up working out. That was pretty much it. I want to be a professional athlete and fulfill that dream.
Yeah. Okay, so you're in South Carolina. You started boxing.
North Carolina. Yeah.
North Carolina. You started boxing. You're in the military, and I was listening to another interview you did for that TCL.
Yeah, a lot of people have been talking about this one.
Dude,
people ask me too. They're like, "Did you really jump out of a plane and fight the same day?" And I did. It was an amateur fight. And I had a day jump. A day jump's a lot easier than a night jump, obviously. But it was just a simple day jump. And I didn't want to do it. I was thinking about the amateur fight. I was cutting weight. There was many times where I was like, people didn't understand because they're like, oh, you want to go eat? You want to go eat? Why can't you eat this or that? Or you're cutting weight. Even to this day, people were like, oh, let's go eat or something. And I'm like, I can't. But I jumped out of plane and had an amateur fight the same day. I guess that's just shows what kind of mentality I have, because it wasn't a big deal to me. I wasn't complaining about it. I try to teach my brother the same thing. Like no one cares about your issues or what's going on in your life. Like you're gonna have to just kind of suck it up. You know, sometimes as much as it sucks, you gotta suck it up sometimes.
Yeah, that's the essence of fighting, dude, in general. Like any combat sport is sucking it up, dude.
Yeah.
People come in with, everyone's got their own problems here,
Everyone does, yeah.
But the beautiful thing about coming into a gym like this is everyone's equal.
Yeah, everyone's equal. At the same time, like I tell my brother the same thing. Like if you show them what your weaknesses, like if you keep complaining about these things, they're gonna take advantage of that. People are looking to take advantage of your weaknesses. So if I would have said, man, I'm tired because I jumped, you know, that took a lot of energy out of me. I would have been complaining to my coaches about it. I probably just wouldn't have even fought. But I did, and I ended up winning that. I won all my amateur fights.
Yeah, you 10-0, right?
10-0 is an amateur. Crazy record, right? Not really, but
I think it's cool, bro. Undefeated, bro.
Yeah, I guess because amateurs do tend to get the losses because of judging or because of the rules, but I went hard for those 10 fights and ended up turning pro after that.
Yeah, dude, especially lately. But I mean, at least in terms of like the last few UFCs that I've been watching, I don't know if you pay attention to UFC, bro, but there's just been some crazy judging, dude. Yeah,
I do catch the UFC fights. I've never paid for one and watched one, but I see the highlights and I kind of keep up to date with, you know, the podcast. The UFC fights is interesting to hear their stories and stuff, and all the memes, the MMA memes are all over Instagram.
Yeah, they're on it, bro.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your military experience. You were stationed in Afghanistan.
No, I got deployed to Afghanistan. I was stationed in North Carolina. I was in the 82nd Airborne Division, and I got deployed to Afghanistan. That's like one thing that everyone wants to hear about. I try not to talk about it too much because people have been through worse, and it's I don't look for any sympathy, or I don't look for any like thanks or anything. That was my job at the time. Everyone made sacrifices. I was willing to make sacrifices, and I kind of just moved on from that chapter in my life. I wasn't super big on the Army. Like the whole time I was in, I wanted to get out.
Yeah.
So when I did get out, I closed that chapter, and now I'm pretty much focused on boxing and my family. But yeah, and 3 years isn't a long time to be in the Army. There's people that are in the Army their whole 20 years.
Lifers, bro.
Yeah,
it's like a club for some people, bro.
Yeah, it is. It's
like a boxing club for some people,
It's a
bro.
lifestyle. It really is.
No, yeah.
It just wasn't a lifestyle for me. I served my 3 years. I was infantry, which is a tough job too. It's one of the toughest jobs in the Army.
Yeah.
And yeah, I made some good memories, some bad ones, and it definitely had an impact on my life. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Did you ever see combat or anything?
Never combat, right? Because when I went to Afghanistan, it was the pullout of when we pulled out of Afghanistan.
Yeah, people
that was a terrible event in itself because of just
how it all went down.
Yeah, how it all went down. You could look it up. I was there from the beginning, since day one when we started, or I think it was there the day after. There was videos of the Afghan people that were trying to get on the planes, and a guy fell from the plane because he was holding on to the landing gear. We were there the day after, so we were there we were one of the last planes. I think we were the last plane out of Afghanistan. We ended up going from Afghanistan to Kuwait.
Yeah.
And we were there for like a couple weeks until we came back home. Like I think the crazy part was too is that we were on a rapid deployment. So one day it was normal, and then that day just they call you up and said, "Hey, we're going to Afghanistan. Pack your bags."
Yeah.
So everything changed, and it was a crazy event.
Yeah. I saw some crazy stories about like how people were handing their babies over and stuff. Dude.
I saw all that, man. It was terrible, and that's another reason why. I'll talk about it with you, but I don't bring it up a lot because I saw some messed up stuff out there, and I don't look to get any like, hey man, look at me, I'm the boxer who went through this, because that's other people's life stories,
Yeah. No, I feel it. I mean, I don't mean to. You don't gotta talk about nothing.
You're good.
But so you did the military, dude. You got out. You were like, I want to be a boxer. Hit the amateur run for a bit.
I went. I went amateur while I was in the military, and I went pro while I was in the military too.
Oh, you went. Wow, that's pretty. Oh yeah, well, 10 fights, I guess.
Yeah, 10 fights. Yeah.
3 years in the military. Okay. Yeah. So when you, dude, all right. Here's something I always ask fighters, bro. When you told your mom you were gonna fight, what was her reaction?
My dad, I was gonna fight.
You lived with your dad, I'm assuming, then? Or?
Yeah, I live with my dad.
Okay.
I live with my dad and my stepmom.
I feel like dad's more cool about it.
Dad's more cool, but you would think so too. But I guess my dad didn't really say much about it. I don't think anybody knew the how serious I was about it or how serious it was. My dad would tell me, "Hey man, go do your thing out there." But now that I'm back home and my dad's got to go to one of my fights, it's like it's a huge thing, I'm a professional boxer. He tells me be careful, and I think my dad still wants me to work a normal job. My dad tells me all the time, "Hey man, you could come work with me, son."
Yeah.
He wants me to become an engineer. My dad's an engineer.
Yeah.
Works for a huge company, and my dad's always telling me, "Man, I could get you a job. You'll get paid over $100,000 a year." And I just don't want to, and my dad may get frustrated at it. We've had texts and conversations about like my dad's proud of me and he wishes he could show me more. He just wishes I chose a different path,
Yeah.
And I would never. I guess that would hurt me in a sense. But then I see my son. I don't want my son to box.
Yeah.
A lot of people ask me, "Is your son gonna box?" And I say no, definitely not, because I'm making a sacrifice of being a boxer, even though it's what I want to do. But we were talking about it earlier about the CTE, the brain damage, the injuries, the weight cuts, just the everyday pain. I mean, I get punched on a weekly basis, on a daily basis.
Yeah.
I don't want that for my son.
Yeah.
I want something better for him. I think that's what it is. My dad wants something better for me. But I think I'm the person that's making the sacrifice, because I see my brother's in here now.
Yeah.
I have a cousin in here. I don't necessarily want my brother to do it, but I want him to do something with his life. I want him to fulfill his dreams and feel fulfilled with life. I don't want him working a 9 to 5 and not be happy. Because I've been there. I was in the Army for 3 years. I wasn't happy. You know, you can even say I was depressed. My wife was there with me through. I talked about going AWOL. I talked about a lot of things, man, because I just wasn't happy with life at that point. And boxing really helped me get out of that. You know, I stayed dreaming about better things, and it was all through boxing.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people say that. Like, a lot of fighters that have kids, that's word for word. They're like, I don't want my kids to fight, you know?
Yeah, it's just they don't have to. I'll be the professional boxer. I'll take the hits. I'll try to set the example for my son. As far as discipline, as far as not being a quitter, just hard work, dedication. I hope he takes that from it into whatever else he does with life. But I see so much potential in my son and in other people in my family and my brother. So much potential to do what you want to do. You don't have to do what I'm doing. You do whatever you want in this world. You just have to do what I did with boxing. You know, that's the discipline, the dedication, the hard work. Yeah, that's what I want them to take from that.
Yeah. I think everyone should train. Not everyone should fight, though.
Yeah, my son hits the bag. My son messes around in here, and I could see him maybe come with me for training and stuff. But I want to play baseball. I think that'd be cool. Have him do travel ball. I think I want to be in a position to put him into the best school as possible and the best team possible, you know?
Mm-hmm. So has your dad seen you fight already?
Oh yeah,
Live?
if you watch some, like my last 2 fights here in California, I fought in Lake Elsinore at the Storm Stadium. It's a minor league baseball team right there. That was my first fight here in California, here back home. I had a huge turnout. It was amazing. I appreciate everyone that came out for that fight. Made me feel like everything's worth it, you know, to see every one of my family members there. And people came from Fresno, people came from up there in Northern California, and just everywhere to come watch me fight. You can see my dad right there, like in the middle, screaming. He's on the rope of the baseball. You know how they have the netting for the baseball games. He was on there screaming, and I could hear him the whole time screaming, "Get him, get him!" And then the same thing for I fought January at the Pechanga Casino. I was a co-main event, and you must know Chris Cyborg was the main event for that fight.
Oh, Chris Cyborg!
It was super cool.
Yeah.
I ended up stopping. They ended up throwing the towel of that fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. My opponent's corner ended up throwing the towel in the 4th round, or 3rd or 4th. And Chris Cyborg was the main event, so that was a big fight.
Yeah.
Same thing. My dad was there screaming away.
That's tight. So I'm assuming you're pretty tight with your dad.
Yeah, me and my dad. I mostly grew up with my dad. Yeah, I was a daddy's boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's sick. Oh, dude, one thing I do want to ask you though is, did you see Cyborg in person?
Yeah, I got a picture with her.
Is she big?
She's big.
She looks jacked, bro.
154.
But she's jacked, bro.
Jacked. And I'm like, damn, bro, she's bigger than me, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
She ended up getting like a 1st round knockout, knocked the girl out cold.
Dude, she's scary, bro.
Yeah, and Benavides, Jose Benavides Sr., right?
Yeah.
Was her coach, and I didn't get a picture with them. But I got a picture with Chris Cyborg. I was in her locker room. I said, "Hey, Chris, I'm the co-main event. Can I get a picture?"
Yeah.
And it was super cool. We took a picture. She wished me good luck, and that was a cool event.
Yeah, I heard good stories about her. I heard she's really like nice.
Yeah, she's super nice.
You know, she's like scary.
You would think that, you know, she's a huge name. She's a legend in MMA. She didn't have to take a picture with me, you know. I was already a little nervous. Like, should I go ask for a picture, you know? But I'm like, I'm the co-main event. That'd be super cool to have a picture with her. And yeah, that was cool. It was under, shout out the promotion, WFC.
WFC?
Yeah, they're super cool.
All right, I'll look into them. Yeah, dude, I don't know if you've heard of Todd Medina, but he's big into boxing now, and he knows Cyborg from the UFC, and he's always talking highly of her and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is just interesting because every time I see Cyborg, she's just like talking mad and beating the out of people.
Yeah, yeah.
So I would just assume I'm like, this is a
But
scary
she always has
individual.
a smile too. She's always smiling, and
Yeah,
she's cool.
yeah. Well, I mean, because I see that she does a lot of like stuff to help the community too. You know, because I follow her on IG. You know,
Okay, yeah.
she's into like altruism and stuff. But yeah, so you're here at KMF.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been at KMF for?
It's hard to say. I think I've been here. I don't even think it's been a year yet.
Okay,
or
so
maybe
you're
it has.
fresh.
Yeah, because like my first fight was with KMF was in January this year.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was that fight in Lake Elsinore. We were 2023. It was in November 2023.
Yeah.
And I joined the gym shortly before that. So I guess this November will make a year.
Yeah.
A year with this gym. I feel like I've been here forever, but I came back to California and was looking for a gym. I ended up going to you must know Robert Garcia.
Yeah.
Right there in Riverside. It was closer to me.
Yeah.
And I was there for like 2 weeks, but they had so many pros and so many like high level pros. I was getting ready for a fight too, my fourth professional fight in South Carolina for that title that I showed you.
Sick ass type belt, by the way.
Super cool. I'm looking to get more soon, but I was getting ready for that fight, and they just couldn't really give me the attention that I needed. So I was like, man, I think I'm not gonna come to this gym. I'm a huge fan of Robert, and we go there for sparring too. They're all super cool there. But I needed a little bit smaller gym so that I can get that attention I needed from a coach. And this was the perfect place. We weren't here always. My coach put up so much work for this gym. Pretty much put his whole life into this gym. We ended up having to break down so many walls. It was like offices in here.
Yeah.
We broke down walls, and this was all built from scratch.
Yeah. It's a cool gym, dude. I like the setup.
Yeah, what we were doing originally, we were at a gym right around the corner from here. But it was like a academy, like a football academy, and really we would just use a space in that gym to train. And then I know prior to that, this is my coach's first gym of his own.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to be a part of what I feel is the beginning of a long legacy.
Yeah, you feel like you're gonna rock with them to the end.
Pretty much, man. You know, you could see it in his son how great of a boxer he is. You know, he's taking tough challenges and showing out. And it's like, I mean, the proof is there. You know, I just have to be disciplined, listen to my coaches, listen to my team, and I think I'll get everything that I deserve.
Yeah. Yeah, we spoke on that earlier off camera about the differences in training in Muay Thai gyms and boxing gyms. One thing, like I was telling you, that I noticed was that in boxing gyms it's very like individual in terms of the training. In Muay Thai it's a lot different. It's like you train as a group, you're sparring as a group. It's like, at least at my gym, that's how it is. I haven't been to every gym in the world, so I don't know how every Muay Thai gym is. Yeah. You know? So when I first went to my first boxing gym, which was Gramps, I just noticed how like I got very little pad work with the coach, and then the rest of the time he just kind of told me what to do off to the side, you know?
Yeah.
Which is whatever, dude. But it was kind of a little different than in Muay Thai, where your coach is constantly like walking around watching people, telling what to do, you know?
Yeah. I guess I would say it's just like, you know, boxing is an individual sport. If you show a coach like how bad you want, you're consistent, like asking the coach for work or showing that you're disciplined and hardworking, the coach is going to give you a little bit more attention than others, you know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this gym it's a smaller gym, and Coach Jay's a great coach. He works with everyone. You know, everyone gets their time and is consistently progressing towards what they want to be. Yeah,
I like that he does that, and I think that just benefits the gym as a whole, because as everyone rises together, it's like now you have people to hold pads for you. That like, cause you're more experienced with that, and more better sparring partners, because everyone's like getting brought up together.
For sure, and then you got guys like we have amateurs in here that are going to turn pro, and it's like, all right, these are the new guys in the mix. You know, they're up at our level now, and that's great because you make them better, they make you better. Mm-hmm. One of my teammates, Jaheim, he's a amateur, but he's looking to make his pro debut next year. And just last week we were sparring, and everyone was like, man, that's like pay-per-view sparring. Yeah. And he's an amateur, but he's at a pro level, you know?
Yeah.
A couple other guys in here that are my teammates that help me. They're not necessarily pros, like my boy Juju and Ramiro that have been with me since I first got here. They've been helping me out too, whether it's just like staying consistent and running. They're like, hey bro, where are you at? Are you at the gym? Like let's go train. it's a group of brothers, you know.
Yeah.
We're all here to help each other.
Yeah, I just did an interview with this dude Andy. He currently has the belt for Cali Muay Thai. He trains at Heart and Pride Muay Thai up in I think it's around San Bernardino actually.
Okay.
Incidentally, but he was telling me about how he came up with Heart and Pride Muay Thai, and then there was a gap where he trained at some other gym, and then he came back to Heart and Muay Thai, and the reason for it was just because of that. Something about that gym, he just liked that culture, that vibe, And it's similar to why you came here is because you were looking for like a certain type of gym.
Yeah, I was looking for a home gym. Like when I came over here, I talked to Coach Jay. First of all, I was looking for a coach that wanted me to come train with them. Yeah. I didn't want to go to a gym that wasn't necessarily interested in having another pro, because a pro coming to another gym, some coaches I feel are a little skeptical about taking a pro because you don't know their habits, you don't know what kind of baggage they're bringing with them, or any what other drama, because boxing is a small world, right? So I noticed locally, like if a guy leaves a gym, everyone kind of hears about it. Yeah. He's going to this gym, and coaches call each other up and whatnot. When I came over here, I was looking for a home gym. I told Coach Jay, I'm looking for a gym I'm gonna stay at. I want to train and get better, and I'm interested in training with you. And he gave me a call and was like, yeah, man, come down here, see how you like it. Train for like a week or two, and let me know if you want to make it official and join the gym. And that's what I did. And I know he was skeptical too, because in the beginning, when I got here, I'm pro. The amateurs were so good. I was like, man, this is kind of embarrassing. I was embarrassed myself. I should have been training harder. These guys are outworking me. They're pretty much better than me, and that's because they're just at that level already, and I needed to get better. At that point, I think coach was kind of thinking if I was going to stay or leave. I think he made a comment oh, let's see how long he lasts. Yeah. But I think I made it. I think I lasted long enough. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, well, that's good that you recognize that. You don't make any excuses. You just straight up said they're just better than me.
Yeah,
there was no I just didn't train enough that day.
Yeah, no, it wasn't I had a bad day. I was in the gym, ready to go, and these guys are hitting the bag crazy, and I'm getting tired. Yeah. And then in sparring, it's man, these guys are just better, and I got to get better myself. Yeah. And I think that was the thing. I've always knew, if you get in there with someone that's better than you, it makes you better. You just have to notice that, though. You can't be hard on yourself. Tell my brother that there's no winning or losing in sparring. It's all to get better. You got to notice what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right, and then work on it throughout the week.
Yeah. Nah, for real. How'd you even meet your coach? What's his name? Jesse?
Coach Jeremy Flores.
Jeremy Flores.
I had so my original coach, and shout out to my coaches, I always like to make sure they get the credit that they deserve.
Shout out Jeremy.
Yeah, shout out Jeremy, but shout out my coaches from North Carolina, in Spring Lake, Coach Tony, Coach Mac, and my cousin. He was my cousin. We both were in the Army in different places, and he got stationed in North Carolina with me.
And he's a boxer
Luis,
too?
He used to box, but he started boxing with me again, and then he decided to become my coach. He just knew so much, and I broke a lot of bad habits, created better habits, and Coach Luis Morfin, he's out there in South Carolina. He's a drill sergeant. So you could imagine how tough he was on me with my training, and he definitely helped me get better and get to this point. He gets out the Army, I think this year or maybe next year, but he trains his son too. His son's an amateur boxer, X-Man, out there in South Carolina. But yeah, shout out to them.
Yeah, so they knew Jeremy and
no, I just came. Oh, that's right. Sorry, I came out here, and me and my cousin had both came out here together on leave one time, and we were looking for sparring. Because I never sparred in California. I never boxed in California. Yeah. And we're trying to see what all the hype was about. And we're reaching out to gyms, but we ended up coming on 4th of July weekend. So a lot of gyms weren't too active. And then there was a lot of gyms that told us to come down for sparring. And then on the day of, they stopped texting me.
They looked you up probably.
Maybe, I don't know, but I was never trying to go and bully some of the gyms, try to get some work,
Yeah.
But yeah, there were some gyms and then when people ask me about that gym, I'm like I'm not gonna talk bad, but this is what happened. I wanted to get some sparring, and they pretty much ghosted me the day of.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been other reasons too, I guess, but who knows?
He's yet to text me back, man. Yeah, and I reached out to KMF, and Coach Jay was like, "Oh man, I wish I could give you some work, but it's 4th of July weekend. My son is busy. We're busy, And I was like, "Okay, cool." And when I was searching up gyms, I guess those messages ended up popping up, and I was like, "Oh, this coach reached back out to me. Let me reach out to him again because I know he'll text me back."
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how I got to know Coach Jay.
Sick. Yeah, he seemed like a cool dude. I mean, I had a brief encounter with him.
Yeah.
I mean, he let me in here, did a podcast in his building.
Yeah, he's
this
cool.
Beautiful portrait of Roberto Duran.
Yeah, one of his favorite fighters, and he trusted me to lock up the gym and make sure everything's good. We've gotten super close, just me being honest with him about everything and communicating, and he's a cool coach. He's not like he's a father figure, in the gym for some guys. And, we talk a lot and have a lot of conversations about what we're trying to accomplish. I think we're on the same page.
Yeah, he seemed cool. Very friendly dude. One thing I noticed too about your gym was like everyone came up to me and said hi and stuff.
Yeah, everyone's cool.
I was like the only
everyone's got good manners,
Bro, that's something I pay attention to, dude, because I go to gyms, I'll do interviews or just train at a gym, and sometimes people just don't even talk to me,
Yeah.
But that's one thing I always know is when I come in, and if you see like everyone coming in and say hi to you, it's like that's a gym where they teach good habits, good
Yeah.
So it's
we do that everywhere we go to. We're super friendly, man. We just go say what's up to everyone. We're not trying to start anything or have any beefs with any other gyms or anything. I hear some stuff like that or some drama like that.
Yeah.
Coach is a real straight up guy. We're kind of no nonsense. We don't want no drama, no issues. We're pretty honest about everything, and like I think you noticed that too.
Yeah.
I know we had a scheduled date to do a podcast, and I had to cancel, but we made it happen. We're here now.
Yeah, we're good, bro. It happens. People cancel all the time, and it's just life. And honestly, this is just kind of like we're just hanging out. That's how I see it. So it's like if you have something more important to do, then just take care of that first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, so shout out to Jeremy for letting us use his crib.
Yeah, he's from New York. He's from the Bronx.
Is he?
Yeah, that's something crazy too, because like most of these California gyms out here, or local gyms out here, everyone's from here, from the place, and I guess you could say Coach is kind of like an outsider,
Yeah.
And you see that with a lot of guys in here. I tell people too, like one thing that I noticed about this gym was that everyone's coming from different places. Like people travel to come to this gym. I travel from Paris over here to San Bernardino. Guys travel from San Jacinto. Coach just moved up to Lake Arrowhead too, so he's traveling down here. And we're making it work. I got people up in Hesperia that come down here. So
wow, that's crazy, dude.
It's for a reason.
You guys gotta get a crib like here in Nassau.
That'd be cool. A little camp house. Camp house would be cool.
Yeah, that's how they do it in Thailand. Is I don't know if you're familiar with the gym culture out there, but it's like there'll be a gym and then they'll have like living spaces.
Yeah, I am familiar with that. And there's coaches that do have that, like up in Big Bear, they'll have a gym and a house right there. But I guess we're just waiting on one of us to make it big, and we'll have that soon.
Yeah, a couple more fights, bro. You might be the one on the list, dude.
That'd be cool.
Set it all
That'd be cool. I'd love to do that.
Yeah. So your brother's been training for a couple, you said 3 months now?
Yeah, like 3 months.
Does he have any aspirations to compete or anything?
That's what he says. I mean, the kid's talking about quitting school and becoming a pro boxer next year.
Yeah.
No, he told me that his parents said that if he gets good grades this year, that next year he could do online classes, and he wants to come train with me in the morning.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, you didn't ask me if you could do that. I never said I was going to take you everywhere with me. Yeah. But no, I saw he wanted to do it, and I wanted to be a good big brother, and I didn't want to be like, nah, bro, this is not for you. Or, I wanted to push him. If he wants to do it, he could do it. And I started him from scratch. He didn't know how to stand. He didn't know how to throw a punch. And now you hear people complimenting him on how he did today. 3 months in the gym. I know I didn't look that good in 3 months. It took me about a solid year. And it takes people longer than that. But if you're like, I know he has it. He has what it takes if he just stays dedicated and just persistent, consistent, he'll get there.
Yeah.
He wants to do amateur. I think he'll have his first amateur next year. And we set our goals high, like that might be crazy to some people, like, you should just train longer before you have your amateur fight, but that's where you get all the experience. That's where you learn. And I think he's going to have his first amateur fight next year.
Damn, sick. All right, dude, maybe I'll be there. How does your dad feel about that?
I don't think he's seen it yet. He hasn't seen what I see.
Yeah.
I sent him a video the other day. He's like, it's good, but he's messing up a lot. And I'm like, Dad, that's the point. It's the progress is what's exciting to see.
Yeah.
Like, he messed up a lot right there, but he looks better than he did last time.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I love about boxing is being able to see the progress, because that's where you get the excitement from. In other sports, maybe it's a team sport. So maybe you did your best that game, but your team still lost. And here, you're doing your best and you win. It's the greatest feeling ever,
Yeah, sometimes it's not your best night, but you win because your teammates. And I feel like that feels.
Yeah. I've had games where I got my ankles broken. Everyone remembers it. We won, but I had a terrible
like you
game.
don't deserve
I missed a tackle or a fumble or something like. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. So. I think we ran through all the questions I had, dude, and I'm actually stoked because I've been trying to do better at remembering my questions. So I have to look at my phone, and the last 3 podcasts, I think I did a very good job by doing that. We talked about all the stuff I had written down, but you do have a second kid on the way, bro.
I do.
Daughter, bro.
I have a daughter on the way. I was hoping for a boy, but now that I know I'm having a daughter, I'm getting more excited about having a daughter. Seeing other dads with their daughters,
Yeah.
And I want to be a great father, man. I think that's the first thing. I want to be there for my kids. I want to make sure I support them and take care of them, I'm excited to have a daughter. She's going to be due next year. She's going to be due around February or March.
Yeah. So. And your son, you said, is 3, right?
He's going to turn 2 next month. So he's going to be a big brother, and that's cool to see,
They'll be pretty close in age, so that's tight.
Close in age. I like it because other people told me, no, you don't want them that close because it's so hard to deal with them. I'm like, man, you know what? My son's going to be a grade older than my daughter. They're going to go to school together, and I'm going to make sure he protects his sister,
Yeah.
And I think that's always cool.
Yeah, me and my sister were about 2.5 years apart, and it's cool because when we were kids, we didn't really hang out because, just boys and girls, whatever, dude, But as adults, dude, she's one of my best friends now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I talk to her more than anyone else.
Yeah, me and him have a solid age gap too. He's 15, I'm 22.
Yeah.
But now he's coming around. He's always been always about me. I'm his big brother, Yeah. I have other siblings, but I'm his only sibling. So you can imagine he was always kind of the annoying little brother. But we've always been close, And now he was so happy that I came back home from the Army. Because we're even closer now, I see him at least twice a week,
Yeah.
He's a good uncle too. He's cool. He cares about my son, and he's there for the ride.
Yeah, 15 is a good age. I think that's when kids start becoming little adults,
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to training like this, dude. You see the kids that come in, and when they're a little bit too young, it's really hard for them to get more serious about it,
Mm-hmm.
But if they're there at 15, they want to be here,
Yeah, he wants to be here. He definitely.
Yeah,
He runs at home and does his training at home too. Watches film, always asking me for tips and stuff. And he's eager. If he could be here every day, he would,
Yeah.
And we're gonna work towards that.
Yeah, we have this kid at my gym. I always bring him up, but he started training with us when he was, I think, 15. He's about to be 18, I think, in December. Wow, he's about to be 18. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But him, from when he started to now, it's like a light switch,
Yeah.
When he first started, he'd be messing around, wrestling in the locker room, whatever, Now it's yes, sir.
Yeah.
Never know, sir, dude. He cleans the mats every single day.
Yeah.
He actually started training just boxing at there's a spot in Santa Ana called TKO. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
I think I've heard of it.
But they used to be with what's that gym that's got that monkey for their logo? It used to be done inside that gym.
I'm not sure.
It's a pretty big gym, but they got a little. Anyways, but yeah, so he's been actually training a lot of boxing before coming to do Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu. So maybe you'll see him at one of the boxing cards one day,
Yeah, most likely. But yeah, I guess he's maturing now, maturing a little bit more.
He's becoming a man.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, dude.
He's bigger than me. I was taller than me. He got the good genes. Yeah.
Yeah, he's tall. I didn't think he was 15. I was like, what? He's 15?
A lot of people were like, now I go tell them. I'm like, hey, that's my brother right there. They're like, oh, that's your brother? I'm like, yeah, he's 15. They were like, what? They're like, yeah, I kind of brag about it.
Yeah.
He got some good genes.
Yeah. Dude, I got to tell you, it feels a little weird wearing shoes inside the ring.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's allowed. We wear these shoes, but no one's over here rolling around on the mat, so.
Yeah. Well, it's just weird because, like I said, it's in Muay Thai, you would never wear shoes, allow shoes on the mats or ring, you know?
Yeah.
I know boxing's a little different, but it's just not something I'm too.
Yeah, no, boxing different. Kids come in here with their shoes, boxing in their regular shoes, you know?
Yes, it's got to be better for your feet, bro. You probably see like less spread of like fungus stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, my brother, like, he told me, like, you know how in wrestling people get ringworm and stuff. Like, I don't think we get none of that here in boxing. So
yeah,
we're all right. We're safe from all that.
We had a ringworm not really outbreak, but like 3 people got it a few months ago.
Yeah.
Well, I remember one dude brought it in, and I seen something.
Quarantine him.
This one dude came in, and I seen something on the back of his arm. He's like, "Yeah, it's ringworm, but it's all good. It's already healed." And I was like, "Are you sure, bro?" He's like, "Yeah." A month later, bro, 2 other people get it.
Everyone's got it. Yeah. No, keep the gym clean. It's a rugged gym, but we keep it clean.
Yeah.
You know, take care of our stuff.
For sure. All right, Angel, is there anything you want to add? Anything you want to tell the viewers? Something coming up?
I guess, yeah, just check out my fight. You know, follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is angel.x.munoz. And I got my fight coming up December 21st. You know, I'm going to be in the best shape ever. It's going to be the best performance that I've had so far. And I hope everyone shows up. You know, I could use the support. The local support means everything, you know, coming up as a boxer. So thank you, guys.
Check him out. I'll add the link to his socials, whatever he's got in the bio, a little clickable link.
For sure.
When your fight gets closer, let me know, dude. I want to come check it out.
Thank you, man.
Angel, thanks for coming
Appreciate you talking to me, bro. Thank you.
I appreciate you like inviting me into your gym, bro. Showing me the hospitality. Yeah. Next time I want to train, dude, to check out your gym and whatnot, dude. So
that'd be cool. It'd be super cool.
Yep. All right, Angel. Man. Thanks.
Thank you, bro.
As always, everyone, stay cool, stay high, do some mother effing boxing, or don't stay high. But goodbye.